On behalf of the Institute for Leadership and Strategic Foresight, welcome to So You Want to Be the Chief, a podcast for leaders.
Well, it's always a blessing to have my folks, my guests on the show, but a real no kidding blessing today because I have my number two. Well, no, sorry, sir, but you are number three. My number three protege, Lugo Santiago is number one. James Ceballos, Chief Master Sergeant retired, is number two, and you are number three. Only because I met you in that order. But anyway, I have Captain Aryemis Brown, who graduated from the Air Force Academy in what was the year, sir?
2021.
2021, not that long ago. And I love this man. He's gosh, I met you as a freshman, if I'm not mistaken.
You did. I said you told me to have an awesome day and to be air power as I was running across the strips.
Yeah, good old days. But it's good that they're old and not there anymore. But anyway, you graduated and you went off into Space Force, right? And
I
now
did.
let me remind me, you were like the wing commander, the cadet wing commander at the Air
I
Academy.
was in the old days. I had the privilege of commanding the cadet wing.
Yeah, so you've got a lot of leadership experience, and then you went into graduated and became a Space Force officer, and you're doing that now. You just got your training. You just got made captain not long ago, and I've told you several times you hang out with the chief and you get promoted. So go get your major stuff to put on because it's going to
Yes.
come up pretty quickly. But but anyway, the reason I wanted to get you on the show, sir, was that and you know the show is about chiefs, but you well, let me put it this way. Let me share a story because you know I'm a storyteller. Back in the day, I used to go over to Peterson, which is where you've been stationed for the last couple of years, and I spoke to the leadership schools and to the NCO Academy and all that kind of stuff. And particularly the NCO Academy, I would after they introduced me and told them that I was teaching at the Air Force Academy. Uh, uh, I would ask those tech sergeants, so what happens when Lieutenant Brown walks in the door? He's been in the Air Force for about, a week and a half or so. What do you do? And sometimes I had to kind of nudge them because the answer is we stand up. The reason we stand up is because that person is a lieutenant and we respect at least the rank, hopefully the person too, but at least the rank. And again, because this is a program for chiefs, that lieutenant outranks you. Yeah, I know some of them are grumbling and all that kind of, get over it. That lieutenant outranks you, regardless of how little he's been in and how little he knows, she knows, they outrank you. And there's a reason for having this uh, the system that we have, and it's a good one. And and the point is, and I hope, Captain, that I've always shown respect to you, even as when you were a cadet, because that's what we should be doing as enlisted people. And the reason I wanted to have you on the show is because you are going to become a commander soon of an organization, of a squadron that's going to have chiefs in it and other enlisted people. And I thought, what's your expectation? And how long? So how many years have you been? 3 years, 4 years altogether?
About four,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
after four.
So and you've related at least with some enlisted people in the last few years because you're that kind of guy. And then I
Yes.
always had you, like I encouraged you to do that. But what as a especially as a commander, but as an officer, you see a chief. What do you expect from that chief? And this is like as I ask those enlisted people about this lieutenant, we don't know how long you've been in 3 days, 5 days, 2 years, whatever. You don't know how long that chief has been a chief either.
Mhm.
So you have expectations that may be valid or not, as we have expectations which may be valid or not about lieutenants and captains and officers. Well, what do you expect? You see Chief Vasquez walking onto the into your shop. What do you expect from him or her?
That's a great question and great stories. Let me first really quickly say I am honored to be on this show with my number one chief, and I do feel honored that I get to call you my chief. So thank you for having me. And then as I get to talk to an audience of chiefs, just know that I feel very honored. My time in the Air Force and Space Force has been characterized by amazing enlisted mentors, and so to be able to walk onto this show. I see the chief, and there's a bit of aura that goes with it. I get nervous because I know I need to be on my best game, but at the same time, they care for me fiercely, and you've always cared for me fiercely. Your question about my expectations for Chiefs. It's interesting. You've always been sure to remind me that as an officer with a commission, I have authority. But authority is not a substitute for wisdom. You see a lieutenant, and there's that joke that you can't spell lieutenant without lost. As a captain, I feel very similarly. I'm still learning the ways of the Air Force and the Space Force, and you've been good to share your wisdom and experience with me. But when I see a chief, the thing I know that is for sure true is that they have passed the test of being a technical operator in their airmen and NCO days. They've shown leadership as a master sergeant, and they've gone on to be a chief for their wisdom. And so my first experience with a chief, and I'm going to brag about you, Chief Vasquez, is I was at the Air Force Academy. And every morning at 3 or 4 a.m., I would receive words of wisdom. And those words of wisdom didn't tell me how to do the job. They didn't give me explicit direction, but they challenged me to be better. They challenged me to understand my role and how to reach for air power, reach for space power, how to be a good guardian and airman. And that's my expectation for a chief when I see them. That all the time they have spent in service to our country, that whatever lessons they've learned, they can share their wisdom with me to make sure that my authority is informed and responsible and consistent with what they know to be true.
Wow. I love it. I love it. So you are one of the most eloquent captains I know, sir. And by the
Aha.
way, just especially for the chiefs who are wondering who this young man is, Captain Brown has a PhD. I don't know many captains who have PhDs. So you can tell already that this is a smart man. Now,
Yeah.
in let's develop a scenario, sir. There's an issue comes up in the squadron, and you're in charge of, say, let's say 10 enlisted people. Well, and but this is kind of a loaded question. Who do you go first to for advice? And that would be, of course, the chief. But what are you looking from? What kind of advice are you looking from that chief? Are you expecting me to tell you what to do, or what kind of a what are you looking for?
You're right. I go to my senior NCO, and this is all going to come back to wisdom. I'm looking for a conversation. I don't want the answer. I think one of the blessings of my role is that I have the challenge and the opportunity to think about what to do. But I don't want someone to tell me yes. I want to go to my senior NCO, my chief, and I want their opinion. I want their opinion on. I find that chiefs have this wonderful, almost magical ability to see the people behind the uniform. They're not. I don't think officers should be caught behind the desk, but especially chiefs. Those are the ones I see out in the line in the classrooms, engaging with the people, and they know the heart of any issue. And so I look for expertise on what's best for the person, what's best for the mission. And as long as we're having a conversation, they will be able to temper my excitement and sometimes naivete with short time in the service with their wisdom about what might be the best. So I think when I go to my chief, I'm not looking for an answer. I'm looking for a conversation, someone to ask me good questions as you always do, and to remind me about the what's best again for mission and people.
And what happens if we just and I this happens, sir. This is going to happen. Maybe it's already happened to you. Sometimes we just don't get along. There's something that I I don't like about you. There's something that you don't like about me, whatever it is. How are you going to deal with that? I mean, you're the boss. It don't matter. And in the book, I'm sure, pretty sure you read my book. So you want to be the chief. In the boss, in the first lesson is you are not the boss. The lieutenant is. The captain is. We don't really go. We don't gel. Yeah, and we've had. I think, and I can't call it an honor that you and I have gelled. But there are some
Yes.
people that just don't. But we still got to work together. How are you going to deal with that? And you know what? I've been in 28 years. I've been everywhere. I got ribbons all over them. I got so many ribbons I can't wear them all. So how are we going to deal with that when we just don't get along?
So let me give two answers. The first answer, you alluded to it at the beginning of this conversation, is that we can respect the position, just as I respect that you are my chief, and with that chief comes responsibilities and duties in its own authority, as the rank entails, the top 1% of our services. Same thing that I'm sure you have always respected my commission. In fact, just a quick side story, just because I'm going to continue to brag about you. But you saluted me one day after lunch. I wasn't in uniform, and I told you thank you, and you told me, don't thank you. This is your responsibility, and this is your sign of respect. And so I think the first answer is that. No matter the situation, I think the discipline and the ethos of military service is that we respect that being a chief is a rank, and having a commission is a rank. But I also think there's also a more human and people-oriented answer. You've probably gleaned by now that I think people in mission are important aspects of our service. And I think the relationship between the chief and the commander, or the chief and any officer, the stronger that bond is, the stronger and better able we are to lead and capture a unit. So on a human level, I know there's a person behind the uniform, and I think there are opportunities for people to get to know one another. Oftentimes when there's these friction points. I think it's a gap in understanding, rather than a gap of personality. So taking the time to understand our differences is always a good recourse. And maybe doing a little bit about what you and I do. Anytime I have a problem, I have yet to think of something that I haven't fully disagreed with you on, or fully agreed. Well, I haven't found many things we disagree on. But we spend a lot of time talking and having conversations, and I get to know you a little bit better, and you get to know me a little bit better, and we find those launching points that we both agree with, and move forward from there. But I think that those are my two answers, that we respect the rank, but we also respect the need for a special bond between the chief and his or her officer, in the name of doing what we're here to do.
The other day, you took me out to lunch, and by the way, if there are any officers listening to this, and I hope that there's a few thousand, you pay. Okay, because you are the officer. You make a lot more money than us poor enlisted people, particularly, especially retired enlisted people. But you shared a story with me, sir, about a tech sergeant, and please free, feel free to use his name, because we're going to have lunch soon, and I'm going to buy. But anyway, he took care of you in mentoring you about doing well, and it's really about the patent said we're always on parade. People are always watching us. And you did something that was it was not wrong, it was not bad, but you did something that was modeling, and that tech sergeant corrected you. So share the story, please.
Sure, thank you for remembering that. And Sergeant Trotter, I will be sharing this link with you when I receive it. But it is a blessing and honor to share a little bit of how inspiring you've been to me during the officer training course. But Sergeant Trotter is my sergeant for the last bit of the officer training course in the Space Force. And what's cool about this last bit is you get to practice your hand at an operational scenario. So what would it be like if you were on an ops floor and having the opportunity to lead? It's your one last chance to practice leadership before they ship us off to Combat Forces Command and we're actually doing the mission. Sergeant Trotter noted something about me that I also know about myself, but I'm a bit of a workaholic. I like to work through lunch. And so I was put in a position where I was in charge of a mission planning cell of 32 lieutenants. And I was frequently and constantly working through lunch. And by my working through lunch, I didn't realize this at the moment, but a lot of my lieutenants and my team were also working through lunch, and it wasn't the healthiest of patterns. And Sergeant Trotter kindly shared, again, this is the wisdom we get from our senior NCOs and the NCOs we look to. But he shared about his experience on the ops floor and all the people that had stress attacks or heart attacks or not this healthy work-life harmony because they put too much emphasis on doing the job without focusing on resilience or recovery or healthy work habits. So even though I was happy to work through lunch for 3 weeks, I did find myself getting a little bit more sick and more exhausted, and putting this unnecessary pressure on the people in the room to also match my work habits. So Sergeant Trotter showed me his courage and also his wisdom by telling me the benefits we get when we model what right looks like. When I take lunch, everyone else takes lunch. And then going from there, I'll actually say, of course, he was right. His wisdom was right. Our work product got better, our work habits got better, and the team was healthier, it was happier, and we were getting the job done. So my sergeant looked out for me. He took care of me, and he had a conversation. He heard my perspective of why I work through lunch, but he shared his wisdom of why there's a better way to do it. So Sergeant Trotter, thank you again. You are an amazing NCO, and the 319th is very incredibly lucky to have you, as well as all my classmates.
And let me advise all of the chiefs, in particular, who are watching this program on YouTube. Remember this name, remember this face, Aryemis Brown, because one day he is going to be a general officer, and
Oh.
and that. And I hope it'll be 4 stars, and I hope you become the chief of staff and all of that kind of stuff. The future is way out there for all kinds of stuff. But I've often said, and you're verifying, sir, that the enlisted people have a huge effect on our leaders and leadership. Who's going to be one day when you get that, especially the first star? That I think that's the real important one. After that, it's like extra bling. But nonetheless, Sergeant Trotter has had an effect on you in many ways that you have a perspective on enlisted people that will go with you for the rest of your life, your career at least, and we have an effect on you because as we treat you, you're going to treat us. I have worked or have not worked with them. I've known some 4 star generals who did not like enlisted people. And when I did not necessarily the research, but in asking the questions, the Socratic method, uh, I found out that they had bad experiences with enlisted people, which stuck with them, so they didn't like enlisted people because of those bad experiences. On the other hand, General Fogelman in particular, one of my favorite chiefs of staff, had great relationships with enlisted people because they treated graduate, he a grad, but enlisted people took care of him and he was just paying it back. And we had, if anybody that was there around those years, know that when General Fogelman came back or became the chief of staff, things got way better for us enlisted people. So it's a mutual thing. So anyway, Aramis Brown, general, the chief of staff, United States Space Force. I can see it now, sir. I practice this visioning stuff. Okay, so I can see it now. You are a family of military folks. There's like 80 of you or so who are all Air Force, Space Force, and just retired and all that. So share with that. The 3 brothers, is it, that are pilots?
Two brothers.
Two,
And
two.
I'm always happy to brag about my family. I'm trying to look around our office right now to see if I can show you a picture, but I'm not seeing much. But I was born and raised in a military family. My mom served in the nurse as a nurse in the Navy, and then she went on to the United States Public Health Service. She retired as a captain, not my captain, the big Navy captain,
Yeah.
but in the United States Public Health Service. And then my dad was in the Air Force, graduated from the Air Force Academy, and had a career and retired, of course. And then my brothers and I all went to the Air Force Academy. So I'm a bit of the interesting one. I have never been to school by myself. When I came to the Air Force Academy, my brother was there. And then when my older brother graduated and commissioned as a pilot in the Air Force, my younger brother came as a freshman. And so they are doing great things. My oldest brother is a pilot out at Alaska, in Alaska right now, serving the Air Force. He's also a captain. And then my younger brother, who is the Lieutenant Brown right now, he's an intelligence officer in the Air Force, and he's doing great things in Germany right now. But yeah, we all bounce off of each other. It's funny. I was asking my younger brother for advice on writing a training report the other day. So they are rocks to me, and I'm so grateful for them.
Yes, yeah, and we are grateful for you. Thank you all for serving. It's just we'll need to get together sometime, and y'all can take me to dinner.
It'll have to be a good dinner.
Okay, it's not, and you no, you guys pay. Okay, there's a
Yes,
lot
yes,
more of you.
yes.
You guys pay. Okay, that's just the
You're
important thing.
right. You're right.
Yeah, sir. What do you envision the future looking like for you? What are you going to do the next few years?
What do I envision the future? I think firstly, I am excited for my next assignment, so I will head off to Italy, which I'm so looking forward to. But I want to find my chief. I want to find my senior NCO and understand what does it mean to be a member of the operational Space Force. And so the next 2 years is going to be a lot of learning. As you've alluded to, my background in the Space Force has been largely academic and training. And so applying those critical thinking skills to a specific mission, I'm excited to learn. And then after that, I need to have more lunch with the chief. If you have lunch with the chief, you get promoted, as you said. But I'm still looking to understand what my career goals are. Any opportunity to serve is something that's exciting for me. But this is the young and bright-eyed part that unfortunately I don't have the best answer about what's next. But if I'm learning and if I'm serving, I think I'm happy.
Well, I can guarantee you pretty much, sir, that you're going to have a lot of people helping you, especially the enlisted folks, because you've got the right attitude. And uh, everyone that I've ever known who did work with you or even knows you, all say great stuff about you. So best of luck with everything. And again, you got the right attitude. So we talk about the ring knockers. I think you've heard that term. And we enlisted people don't like ring knockers. And for all of the officers out there, like you mentioned to a while ago, don't thank us when you salute us.
Mhm.
That's what we do. We're warriors. We expect to be saluted. We will salute you. You don't have to thank us. We just that's a part of the identity that we have as warriors. So, thank you for taking the time to be on the program, sir. And you're heading out here. Well, we got a couple. We've got some time for a couple more lunches.
We do, we do. I'm here
Okay.
till March.
Okay, sounds good. But it's fun. It is funny, Mike, because I come back from the lunches and Deb says, "Who paid?" Deb, it's an officer enlisted thing. The officer always pays. But yeah, at least you've learned that. So you will probably, especially when you get to Sicily, you will probably have a bunch of enlisted people waiting for you to take them to lunch. So do the right thing.
Will do. And I just want to thank you again for having me on the podcast, Chief. Just a final bit of story, and then I'll let you go. You know, I'm a talker. But I carry this little soldier in my pocket, and that's actually Sergeant Trotter does something similar. He carries a coin. But one of my best friends gave me this soldier to remind me that if things ever get too hard, this little guy takes care of me. And I think that's the perfect example for how I see a chief. That for all the bright-eyed the energy I have. I thank you for the wisdom and the protection that you offer me. So what an honor it's been to spend time with you, my chief. And then also thank you to everyone who took the time to listen to a young captain trying to find his way in the Space Force.
Yeah. Well, we will guide you, sir. We will tell you where to go.
Thank you, and I will follow.
God bless you, sir.
God bless you too. Goodbye, my chief.
Thank you for listening. We hope that you've gained something from this episode that will empower you to become a more effective leader. If you'd like to connect with us, please do so via our website at leadershipandforesight.org. The book So You Want to Be the Chief is available on Amazon.com and on Apple Books. This podcast is powered by the Institute for Leadership and Strategic Foresight.